your most powerful ability in the game acquired, the run is going to get quite a bit more crazy very soon.
It's absolutely massive, Toadette. Grips just took a few deaths getting sent back to that safety state.
I heard you guys like lore, right? Well, we have go fast left, we have go fast up with enemy, we have go fast down, and now we have go fast up without enemy. Charge jump acquired.
Won the 2022 the Blind Forest 5th Edition All Skills Tournament. The second match of the day in a row, and so here's gonna be Squid versus Daroka, seed 13 versus 20. So yeah, it should be a really exciting match here. Yeah, I'm Islam and Almanar. I'm joined on commentary by Turtle. How are you feeling about it?
I am feeling great, Lion. We did just watch a phenomenal run between the second seed and the 31st. Both of them were phenomenal runs, but there was a bit of a difference there as opposed to this race, which is going to hopefully be much, much closer and will be much, much more fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely. It should be a really close and exciting race once we get started. There's a bit of technical difficulties coming in here, but we should be able to get started in just a minute. Let's get started here. Yeah, so Squid Guardian does have a slightly better PB, but the difference that you see there on the times is not it's not quite as big as that. Daroka's PB is slightly better than that, with I believe really either high 32 or low 33, and his qualifier time average is only a little bit behind that, but definitely we get the edge of Squid, but we both have very similar routes and similar tricks that they do, so it should definitely be a really exciting race to see, and any small mistakes could end up deciding what happens here.
Although, speaking about their PBs, I would like to mention Squid has the single most recent PB on the entire All Skills leaderboards. He got it just 2 days ago. He has been improving so much lately. It is an incredible. I believe he's now up to 35th on the entire leaderboard. So he might be able to pull off another PB here, possibly, just with the progression that we've seen from him lately.
Yeah, and as you can see, there's he's been playing very well recently. He's been improving a lot in practicing runs, doing it a lot very often. Daroka as well though, and has been still definitely very good runner, and has a chance to take this race. Not definitely in his favor for sure, but still definitely not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah. With the routes that our runners will be taking being very similar, it could literally just come down to a single death, which could happen anywhere in the entire 30 plus minutes. That could decide this race, from all the way at the beginning with something like Frankie Walk to all the way at the bitter end with the final escape. Literally one death could absolutely just be it. So both runners will have to be on their game the entire way through, after all the nerves of being in a race, as well as these technical difficulties, making them anxious for even longer before the race.
Yeah, and as I said, we still got a bit of technical difficulties. There's been some problems with getting everything set up, and so we'll need just a few more minutes, but it should be fine. Everything will be fixed in just a little bit, but still got just a bit more time to talk before the race starts. And yeah, so
we have some notes from our wonderful trucker person who died. And their routes and techniques that they perform are incredibly similar. But something that I find interesting is that the one main difference that jumps out at me from their techniques is that Daroka, the higher seed and the slightly slower PB, actually does one trick in the run that Squid does not, and that's double bashing. Double bashing can
Yeah.
be used in several places to save time, but it's pretty ridiculously tricky in order to get, especially if you try to chain them. So we'll see if Daroka goes for many of those throughout the run. See if he saves time, or if we get some unfortunate double bash drops.
Yeah, double bashes are very hard, so it's definitely understandable that Squid doesn't do double bashes. But yeah, and yeah, he's one of those runners that does not, that has a really good PB with that, like, as you say, like minimal, like a lot of less like advanced tricks and more just like route, like just optimizing what he's and being really good at what he's done. Squid is and has like a 31 and no double bashes, which is something you don't really see that much. I just still do Swamp Entry typically without double bashes and Sorrow Bash and other things. And sometimes also I've noticed that he sometimes will also even skip Fast Stompless as well, which is just another interesting note. Here, don't know if we'll see that in this run or not, but with that, we'll see what happens with that. And also, Squid also does use control for dash, so optimal,
Squid,
very
why?
optimal stats. I use control for
Why?
dash. Control for dash is just better. Like,
Why? No, it's it's the default, and it's the worst default in the game. I swear. I literally did not use dash in my casual playthrough because I just hated that button so much.
yeah, I mean, it's controversial sometimes, but I have always used it, and I find it fine.
All
So,
the more power to
well,
you then.
yeah, so I'll be the one that's the control dash advocator here, and
Imagine trying
so
to do
we're
like rocket jumps with dash control. Oh my god.
you don't press
You
that,
need
you can just bind it, just bind rocket jump to
Yeah,
something
but like
else.
imagine you know what I mean. Like whoever did that, whoever found it first, since the default was on control, possibly just had it there and ah, people are insane.
I mean, just have bigger hands so you can press the button.
Oh
Come
yeah,
on.
that's easy. I'll just like go back in time and adjust my genetics from birth to have bigger hands to be better at a speed game. What a great idea!
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and so as you can probably tell, we're still having just a bit of technical problems. It's it'll be solved here in a bit. There's some problems with some layouts in OBS for the stream, and so we're gonna make sure everything will
It
be
wouldn't be
fixed
a
in just a
tournament
little
race.
bit. Nope, it
It would
would
be a
not be a
tournament race
tournament
without
race
something
without
going wrong.
something going wrong. Yep, something goes wrong every time. And as you can see, we also got the bracket up here now as well. You can see some of the matches that have already happened. And this one here, third from the bottom on the left side, and the winner will be facing the winner versus Grim and Sharky. If after this match, so yeah, which you would expect to be Prim, but not necessarily. Upsets happen. As you can see in the match at the top of the bracket, that is already finished.
And is Prim versus Sharky scheduled? I think that is one of our races that we still have yet to schedule, so they won't know who their opponent will be for at least a little bit longer. But yeah, that will come as we have only just started the round of 32, as you can see from the pretty blank bracket up here. But we're going to get into it hopefully pretty soon. We've had one match already today. We're going to have, I believe, 2 more after this one today and then 2 more tomorrow. It's a phenomenal weekend, but first we do have
Yeah.
to get through this one issue.
Yeah, so a bit of issues still coming up here, but we'll be started in just a bit. And for now, yeah, there's gonna be one more match right after this. That is gonna be White Paws versus Dr. House. Just right after this one, and it probably will be right after this one because of technical problems. And then after that, 6 hours later at 1 a.m. UTC, which is kind of tomorrow, but also today, maybe.
Time zones are hard.
Time zones, yes. And that is Cheese Lover versus the person who died. And then there are going to be 2 matches tomorrow at 7 and 8 p.m. And then more throughout the week, if some more scheduled for Monday and Tuesday, and then the ones that are unscheduled will be happening later in the week. And then rounds after that will be happening after that in future weeks. Still a lot of tournament to go, and this is only the fifth match of the bracket stage. There were 2 yesterday, 1 earlier today, and 1 on Wednesday.
It's what, 32 participants, so 31 total matches.
Yeah.
We are just barely digging in. Prepare your butts for a lot of Ori this April and maybe even into early May. I'm definitely excited for it. That's for sure.
It will be. It will be going into the first week of May. The final date is set. Semifinals and finals are set for May 7th and 8th, with Saturday and Sunday in about that will be 4 weeks from now. So that'll be nice and exciting once we get there. But still, yeah, a long way to go until then. But for now, we still got here. We're still here. We're still having technical problems. We'll get started in just a bit.
Yep.
And once Squid can figure out how to use OBS.
It's impossible. I remember I was editing my layout just on a whim the other day, and God, I kept trying to change my face cam, and it would not leave the edge of the screen for any reason. I have no idea what the setting was. OBS is just an idiot sometimes, I swear.
Yeah, it can be very difficult to use. Yeah. I remember when I first tried to run this game back many years ago, and my OBS, I didn't know how to use OBS, and I thought my computer couldn't run OBS, because I didn't know how to add different things to capture the game. So it can be very difficult to use. And then it turns out when I figured out that how I could do it, that my computer just wasn't good enough to actually run it anyway.
Oh.
But here we are, and yeah, and Squid is having some problems, but that's okay. Technical problems are inevitable.
Yep.
Yeah, it should just be a couple more minutes before we get started here. So, yeah. Sorry for the technical problems. We're just still waiting just a bit. But we're about there, just about there. Almost got everything sorted. So.
Just a second, just a minute, just a hopefully not hour longer.
It looks like
Alrighty,
we are
folks.
finally getting started. So, and we're both too excited about it that we're talking over each other. It's because it is finally happening. Race itself is going to start in just about 15 seconds, and so we're going to get into the race. We finally got some Ori. Yay! No
Woo!
more blank screen of Ginso Tree with clean water, which we are also not going to see in this run, as we're going too fast. And game is about to get started here in a few minutes. So as runners are about to just go off as we start the run and skip the prologue, the most important thing in the game.
As
Saves
we,
free 10 minutes.
we saw a little bit of lore last run. It's always such a treat as an audience to see the lore. It's perfect, but it's so slow, unfortunately. And with runners who want to go fast, they don't have time for the fun stuff in the run. But oh well, I guess.
Yeah, but we're now gonna get go over here to the left. We've got an energy cell. We can save the game, and we can move, and now we can pick up sign. And so maybe that's a good sign that the run's gonna be kicking off. As hopefully you won't miss any shots, but that's probably not going to happen.
And already we are seeing a slight difference, even just with the movement down to sign. It looked to be about a second and a half of a lead for Squid. And again, anything could happen, but the early game movement, as we saw in the last race, can be a huge, huge difference with top level runners who know how to just execute the early game with their limited resources, limited attacks, limited skills. They can still save a bunch of time, as we are seeing Squid pull off even to a little further of a lead. Again, not much, but everything adds up in a race like this.
Yeah, as a start, yeah, there's not a ton we can do, but as we see there, Squid killed the little bramble on the bounce pad just a bit too late. I mean, the hitbox stayed over a bit longer, which allowed Daroka to catch up some time, as Squid had to then jump on the platform again, and now it's pretty much tied. Unfortunate health drop for Daroka, gonna lose a bit of time, but now we're about to get the first keystone and move over to the second keystone, some ghost store, and getting through as Daroka's got another health drop that he picks up, unfortunately. Well, Squid actually, oh no, takes a death.
Ooh. This early in the run where there's not all that much going on, that can be pretty major. It does send him all the way back down to below where we got signed, or right by where we got signed. And that is, for this starting split, absolutely huge. This is a live race. He can't reset, so he just has to pick up the pieces and try to make up that time moving forward. As Daroka is already getting down through the elbow, past Gertrude, and Squid's only now grabbing his first keystone again.
I think I wanted for Daroka, his XP is very high. I think what I saw there is that it's only 3 or 4 to level up. So he will hopefully be able to get past the XP, but sometimes it can be a bit difficult. So we might see a bit of an early level up here, which would cause some extra time here. But he's actually going to do a damage boost through there, which is to make sure that he doesn't actually pick up the XP there, which is really well done. And so he's going to be able to get the planet here. Unfortunately, not quite going to get the jump down, but he will get the level up here and not going to lose any time there.
That was definitely great thinking, great quick thinking on his part to take the damage boost, because if you get that level up early, you have to waste a lot more time just slamming sign into those spikes very slowly, but making it through. Both Oris staring up at an object, little mini cutscenes that we can't skip, but Daroka is going to be the first to get the wall jump tree.
Another thing to notice that the racers aren't watching each other, so they won't know. It's just Daroka won't know that Squid took a death there. And so that's actually means that it's not going to mean like he won't know that he's now about 30-40 seconds ahead. Not that it's going to necessarily change the actual outcome of the run. It's not going to make Squid or the time difference itself be any different, but it just means that he doesn't know. So he might still think that he's farther behind and might go for different tricks later on, even though he might be ahead at that point still.
There's absolutely something to be said about nerves and anxiety in a race. When you're participating live like this in a setting where one loss means that you're eliminated from the tournament, it can be very, very hard to keep yourself steady. And especially not watching your opponent, you don't know where they are, and you don't know that you have a lead. You have to try things to catch up if you think you're behind. There's so much to think about in these live settings for both of our runners. Squid knowing he's probably behind, Daroka not knowing that. It's so much to think about for both of them.
Yeah, and especially for Squids, like taking those early deaths in Glades can be very, very difficult and very punishing and frustrating sometimes because you normally feel like it's Glades, it should be easy, and it's not somewhere you expect to take a death, but then sometimes it just happens in races, and yeah, I can say from experience that it's not fun for sure to die in Glades and have to go back and redo Glades, and then. So we'll hope to see Squid not lose some more time here and be able to keep playing, get his time back here as Daroka is now made it into BRB. And
We are hearing from our truck that it was a 37-second death that Squid took. So that is quite a bit of time, but that's also not as much time as something like, say, the cutscenes later on in the game, or some of the deaths that could be easily taken in Misty. There's definitely opportunities for him to catch up, especially if Daroka does make one of those larger mistakes. But as we are seeing, Daroka's trying his best to maintain this lead that he doesn't know exists, but he's maintaining it fairly well as the runners are high-fiving in the bottom of this Blackroot Darkness spike pit.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, Daroka's going to take a death there. He did have a save at the bottom of the laser, so this is going to mean that's not going to cost him much time. So he's going to be able to get back up here. It's only going to be only about 5 to 10 seconds here. It's still going to, unfortunately, not quite going to be able to get this cycle, but he'll be able to get back up on the next one. It still has a lead here as Squid is just about to pick up this experience orb. It's going to pass Yellow Slime, get some more experience. As we know, both of them did take Magnet at the start, so no quick flame route, no diff time differences there.
Mm-hmm.
Daroka unfortunately misses a platform cycle as well.
It's just 8 seconds every single time something like that happens in Blackroot. 8 seconds here, 8 seconds there. It can add up as Squid makes his first cycle with ease. So that'll be 8 seconds saved there over Daroka. And if he can make this second part of the cycle on his first try, that's another 8 seconds there. So definitely some potential to be catching up time as they go on these 8-second auto scrollers here on both sides of the screen.
Yep, and probably still a bit more than 8 seconds behind, but who knows? Maybe you can catch up another 8 seconds at some point, or as obviously this game is in nothing but increments of 8 seconds. As Daroka is pulling the lever down, as Squid is just about to get up there. We'll see which type of cutscene skips they're going to do. Here, looks like Daroka is not going to go for the cutscene stack, just going to for the full skip here, the leveling up ability as a bit later, which will fully skip the cutscene, won't stack the cutscene, won't do the blind movement, but it is a bit safer of a method where Squid is going to place a save there on the left by the tree, which means that he will be leveling this ability early. We'll be doing the blind movement here, but he's going to save again back at the save point, and we'll be able to stack 2 cutscenes on top of each other and do some blind movement inside the tree and hopefully not fall into a pit of spikes.
He gets the backlip, and now their tree difference is a little bit. Oh my god, it's 8 seconds. It's 8 seconds at the dash tree. I'm kidding you not.
8 times 2 seconds, maybe.
8 times 2. Sorry, still.
Yes. That's a multiple of 8 seconds, and if you divide that by 2, you've got 8 seconds. So that's just about 8 seconds anyway. As we're now on to Frankie Walk, Squid did get the blind movement out of dash tree area just fine. Didn't lose any time there, and they're both gonna be making their way over to this 4 energy door. But they only have 2 energy, so they've got to level up off this Frankie. They both got in range of XP. They've both got Magnet. Shouldn't be much of a problem. As Daroka gets it onto Death Gauntlet, or just OG said earlier, free Gauntlet, but who knows? We'll see what happens with that.
You can't Caster's curse it like that, man. Squid hasn't even gone through yet. But he has made it past what is, in my opinion, the worst part of it, that Frankie. Daroka has made it all the way through, and Squid just has one more crusher to avoid before they are both through. Free gauntlet. There we go.
There we go. And now that we're taking them a death, see the not having Whip Flame there means that killing the slimes into on the wall in Death Gauntlet take a bit longer, but not gonna be much of a problem. Daroka is not gonna get the cycle. See, Squid is gonna try to go for it. Does barely not get the cycle as well, so no time difference there. But you can see Squid is definitely making up some time here with just a bit of better movement throughout here, and with the blind movement from the dash tree, which does save some time. So that has caught him up a bit as we're about to make our way down to the double jump tree. It was 4 HP. He's going to take some damage boost here and go for the save the ghost door as Daroka has successfully made it to double jump.
Daroka does not go for the double jump blind movement here, so that could potentially be some more time. I don't know if Squid goes for it. Nope, and it looks like he doesn't. So they will be on even footing there. The movement here, I don't believe, saves as much time as the dash tree, but it looks, well, it doesn't look like anything, but it feels cool.
Yeah, and time difference now is about 10 seconds, which is mean it's 8 plus 2 seconds, so 2 seconds is not very much time, so that's basically 8 seconds. And now we're going to make our way back out. Yeah, as the blind movement here at double jump tree, it doesn't save quite as much time, but it's still a nice few seconds of time save. We'll see, though, if either runner is going to go for the game storage at the Ginso tree, which saves a bit more with that ability point, as we both get nice clean grotto skips and save and skip some more cutscenes here.
Squid was just a little cleaner on that slippery wall, and he has caught up very, very nicely. They seem to be just about neck and neck. Daroka may be having a very, very slight lead, gumming up this Gumo Rockfall shaft. So we're back. This is almost synced up. Oh my goodness, what a comeback from
Synced
Squid from that
reload
early
here.
death. Yeah.
Yeah, Squid has definitely played very well after dying in the beginning, which is, it can be very, very rough with those early deaths, but he's played very well to get out of that. Daroka still just a tiny bit ahead, less than a second though, as we're going to make our way up here, and maybe we might see that lead change in a bit if Squid plays well, or if Daroka makes a small mistake here. Depends. Could definitely happen.
I honestly think that this split, Enter Ginso, can be one of the hardest and most technical. There's just a lot of like fine movement that you have to do while with wall double jump movement, which you haven't been doing, so you don't have the like muscle memory already activated with minutes of doing it beforehand on these very slippery walls. But both of our runners are going to make it up, get on through, and as they get past here, Squid does take a very slight lead, just with slightly better movement overall. Oh my goodness.
Walls in Grotto are also just a bit annoying and just not exactly flat, so it doesn't make it any easier, as we're not going to make our way over, pull this rock out, and grab a teleporter that we're not going to use for another 20 minutes, or maybe a bit less if they play well. But now we're going to go over to the Ginso tree. We'll see if either of them do the stack, or the save here at the game storage to skip the door and get into Ginso a bit faster, or not. Squid doesn't look like it. Daroka, however, is going to do this, which will save a bit of time. Won't have to watch the entrance cutscene, and we'll be able to save a bit of time here if he can do this well. He didn't quite get the movement, so not going to be able to get that extra time save. So Squid does have a bit of a lead going up into Ginso tree, but it's Ginso tree. Anything can happen.
Yep. Especially in these first few vertical rooms, the slightest slip up can make you fall all the way down. While not a death typically, that is quite a bit of time. Squid playing a little bit risky, does fall about halfway down the room, and that will give Daroka back the lead right now.
Yeah, just a tiny bit of a mistake. Those getting hit there on those platforms makes you fall down. It can be very frustrating, but Squid's able to make it back up. No death, fortunately for him, as we're going to make our way through this room. Squid's going to take the extra health there, so he doesn't die here. Daroka going for the Star Cycle, Squid not going to do so. So that's actually a bit of time save, and Daroka has a bit of a lead now again.
Yeah, this race in the last few splits has just been absolutely back and forth, and I can only hope it stays this way. We are going to move into the mini boss. Some random patterns. Neither our runner has quick flame. This might be a rather long and tedious fight, unfortunately. But we will see how fast they can get him down. I believe the fastest you can get is 4 cycles with absolutely perfect attacks every single time. But typically, something like 5 is probably what we're going to see.
5
I
cycles
can't keep
likely,
track of
maybe
2 runners
6.
at once.
Unfortunately, both of them got one right side spawn, and they're gonna kill him almost exactly the same time. Slightly better mini boss from Squid, and they're both gonna be able to save at the end and make our way out here with just less than a second ahead now. As we're gonna pick up some keystones, move our way, and pick up into the next room, pick up some more keystones, and open a keystone door, and that will lead us towards Bash.
Absolutely. Bash, the most powerful skill in this game, probably the most famous skill of the entire game. And our runners are going to do some great things with it, especially like we mentioned in that long intro. Daroka, who may be attempting some double bashes throughout the run to attempt to gain more time through that. Is it a glitch?
Maybe depends how you think
Either
about it.
way, it can, but it's a fairly risky thing to attempt. So we'll see what Daroka does and what Squid does as well with his different non-double bash strats.
Yeah, and for now though, so we see Squid actually going to take the shot over to the left here. It's a bit of a safer strat and slightly slower, as Daroka is going to bash it to the right and bash it again to get it up. Squid going to do his wave on the lower platform, whereas we see Daroka here with a double bash. Well done, is going to be able to get a save on the upper platform. So a bit faster once you reload there, although in general, time difference is not very much here with the different strats, as we're going to hope that both runners are able to put the keys in the door after they die. Done it perfectly synced, and we're going to see Daroka does have a bit of a lead now with that upper platform save. So we'll see if Squid can make a back a bit of time here. Still very, very close in key dupe. Very exciting race. We'll see what happens as they get to the mini boss here.
Oh my god, another lead change, and then right after it, Squid is back in the lead again. These two are just absolutely on each other's tails constantly, and they don't even know it. I cannot wait for them to like hear about what they've gone up to, and hopefully watch this back because it has just been phenomenal so far.
Yeah, it's been really exciting and really close so far. Squid having just a few seconds of a lead on the teleporter, but they're still both teleporting at the same time, so that's basically the same. Or maybe no, maybe it'll be 8 seconds again, who knows. As Squid is actually not going to pick up this XP, which is normally taken in the route. I know he does a bit of a different XP route, so let's see what happens with that. Not going to get the laser cutscene as Daroka gets the XP and the level up. I'll see if he just chooses to get the laser cutscene, is not going to do so either, so no difference there, but some scary one-hit lasers when we come back.
These runners are so synced, not only in their actual like skills and abilities, but just in like the routes they take. The only difference we've really seen is that one double dash so far. Coming, but
yeah, and unfortunately, Squid takes a small death there, meaning that he's going to be slightly far behind, but still very close. And we'll see a bit of a difference in strats here with Swamp Entry. Squid's going to be going for the double dashless method here. Going to have to bash the frog over to the right, whereas Daroka, you do some double bashes, which is a bit faster, and is going to get him a bit of a lead here going into the Stomp Tree. And there's been so many lead changes at this point I've lost track, and I don't know. I can't count. Both the runners are now going to be able to get some bashes from this worm, get the shots, and it's tied once again. Daroka a tiny, tiny lead, but it's very hard to tell at this point. But actually going to get onto the tree just less than a second ahead. Very, very close run so far. Both of them making small mistakes, allowing the other one to catch up, having some optimizations, and then still being within a few seconds of each other, as we've seen for the last few splits now. Very, very exciting race, and we'll see what changes in the future, or if it's going to stay this close for the rest of the run.
We are only a little more than halfway done, and coming up here are some of the hardest tricks that can lose a lot of time. Fast Stompless, Sorrow Bash, even just something as simple as the Kuro cutscene skip can be very difficult to pull off even for experienced runners. And going in this tight is going to just be incredible. Again, they can't even see each other, and they're thinking up. I cannot believe it.
Yeah, it was very close there. And for a second, it looked like it was almost the same screen. The only difference being that they saved at a slightly different point. As we're going to get to Kuro cutscene skip. Squid does get it. Daroka gets it as well, so no time difference there. Both the runners are going to be now making their way over to the left towards the charge flame tree. Daroka placing down a save for this infinite hit spikes. And it's neither runner so far is going to fall into them. Squid's going to place a save down there after the energy cell, making his way back up here. And over, he's going to choose not to skip this cutscene, which is he can't do with the safety save. So a bit of a safer strat, and now it's going to still give him a bit of a lead, but it's even closer now once again, as Daroka taking a tiny bit of time save there. And we're going to see both of them with, once again, less than a second apart. Unfortunately, Squid does stomp the Frankie there, so Frankie won't fall down, so that'll be a bit of a difference there, as Daroka is going to go for a longer save anywhere here. Saves an energy as going back up to get to the next cutscene.
And I know we like to style on Charge Flame being useless, but with Squid's frog not following there, Charge Flame was the only option for him to get out, aside from some more glitchy tricks. And so, hey, Charge Flame, more than one use. He will use it to escape that, as well as potentially to break this blue wall that we see Daroka stomping over here.
He's actually not going to. He's only going to use it once. I mean, maybe he'll use it in Final Escape, you don't know. But Daroka has a bit of a lead here. Gonna place a nice safety save down here. Has this energy crystal back, so he's gonna be still at 5 energy since he didn't charge flame the wall. So it's an advantage of not using charge flame. That just shows you charge flame is worse. It means you can't place safety saves. Come on. As Squid is gonna be a bit behind here still. As Daroka is his way. Used double bash there, which once again save a bit of time here over what Squid has done. Squid's going to pick up this little energy crystal so that he wins. And Daroka, unfortunately, to take a death, but that safety save means he's not going to go all the way back to the spirit tree.
And that means yet another lead change for both runners. And then Squid takes another death, another lead change. What is this race?
Yeah, Squid unfortunately did not have a safety save there, so it's going to go all the way back to the spirit tree. Died slightly farther up as well, so it's going to cost us a bit more time as Daroka is going to be making his way back over here. Or it could be the first one attempting to do fast accomplice. And we'll see if he can get that first try. Unfortunately, the bird is not going to like his double bash. Doesn't want to be double bashed. Falls into the spikes once again, but did have 4 HP this time, so he's not going to take a death here. This bird is also not going to hit him at all. And he's going to place a save here, level up charge dash, and make his way up to fast accomplice. We'll see if Squid does fast accomplice here. I know in the past there have been times where he doesn't. I believe his PB itself doesn't actually have fast accomplice, but it looks like he is going to be going for it here.
Daroka gets it first try. Squid, we'll see in just a sec, but that angle did look good. This trick can be weirdly difficult, just if that angle is slightly wrong. Ooh, Squid might have gotten the angle, but the spider did not give him a shot to bash off of, and he will not get the ability cell from that. Oh boy, that could be really, really devastating for him, as we use those ability cells to skip things like minute-plus long cutscenes, as an example.
Yeah, there is a backup ability cell that he can get down onto the right, but it is still about 15 to 20 seconds of time before he will have to pause here. We'll still be able to level charge dash here, as there is about a 11-second difference here at the feather, but this will be a 15 to 20 seconds. He's actually just going to get a level up here, and off those slimes, and we'll be still grabbing this ability cell. So, but now. Yeah, it is a bit behind as Daroka has made it through Sorrow Bash and is into Sorrow. Gonna rocket jump all the way up to the top. These spikes do a lot of damage and hopefully won't kill him, as Squid unfortunately takes a death there, but he did have a safety save, so it won't be much of a problem.
Daroka also at the same time taking a death yet again. This time we won't see a lead change, but Daroka's now all the way back down at the bottom of Sorrow, as Squid is now entering that same place. I think that probably caught up Squid some more, considering where their save points were. Just every single safety save in this run has seemed to come into play, being so important to keep these runners not going back as far.
Yeah, but unfortunately Squid is having a bit of trouble with this rocket jump. Coming from the right, it can be a bit of problem, but he's gonna get the angle not quite something he likes there. So he's gonna try one more time as Daroka is now gonna make his way over to the charge jump tree with a save anywhere to skip the next cutscene. Squid does make it up this time and is now gonna be able to save here, place a safety save, and attempt his Sorrow Bash. The bird that he wants is not quite gonna help him, and is gonna be a jerk and make him redo it. As Daroka is making his way out of charge jump and is gonna go for our Terra Break to open a floor with charge jump after dying. Because that's how the trick works.
Yeah, some of these deaths are intentional, we promise.
Only some of them though, and a lot of them not quite intentional, as Squid does finally make it through Sorrow Bash and will rocket jump at the top. No save placed here, but hopefully he won't die here, as Daroka is now at the Sunstone. But still a big, now there's a nice value save to save there for Squid actually. Gonna mean that he doesn't go all the way back to the for Sorrow Bash, as Daroka has made his way to Sunstone. Another death, unfortunately, though, for Squid means he's going to go back once again and losing just a bit more time.
Yeah, this entire Sorrows section has kind of just been brutal for both runners. At this point, in the routing that they both take, they only have 4 health, and spikes do 4 damage, and lasers are insta-kills. So just everything kills them, and every safety save that they've placed has seen its value. But we do now finally get out of Sorrow on Daroka's side into Misty, which is slightly less deadly, but only slightly. Deaths can still come easy, and with all of the charge dashing and rocket jumping that Daroka will want to use to make this area go super fast, might not have almost any energy left in reserve for safety saves. So we'll have to be very, very careful about that in order to not take any more of these large deaths.
So Daroka so far has actually not placed a save after entering Misty, so we'll see. Hopefully he doesn't take a death here. This next section should be easy, and we'll see if he goes for this cutscene skip. That's his torch. Looks like he will. So place the safety save. Won't be dying here. Won't be going back to the start of Misty, and will be making his way back over to the climb tree as Squid is at Sunstone. It's around 1.5 minute difference now, so definitely not the end of the run for sure, but Daroka does have the lead for now and is definitely the favorite to make it out as the victor in this run at this point.
Around 1.5 minutes, one might even say 88 seconds, if you will.
Yes, we might. That is close to that's definitely a multiple of 8, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, even with that 1.5 minute lead, 88-second lead, Daroka does have a slight slip up, manages to save it, does not die there, and will now be moving out of Misty as Squid is moving in. There's not all that much time left for Squid to save, especially with Daroka's incredible Misty movement so far with all of these stop cancels. Oh my god, does manage another save there off the wall, just barely keeping himself from another death, and will be moving further and further into Misty, probably without any more safety saves for a while as well, because down to very little energy, needs it for some rocket jumps in this area. Oh, this is so intense, I cannot believe it.
Daroka's actually not going to be saving here. Having 4 energy is about what you want to have, but he did take 1 damage, so he is only at 3 HP. But rocket jump, that can just rocket jump you into the spikes. Not going to do that this time for Daroka. He will be able to make it. He's going to do this safer strat, no rocket jump there. Maybe get this. He's going to place a save here, so not going to go all the way back to the climb tree. Gets a good mini boss kill as Squid unfortunately takes a death in the spikes.
These late game areas can just be so deadly, and with the nerves that I'm sure Squid is having right now, with his run being super fast but also just a little reckless, must be very, very hard to keep his head on straight, which he's still doing a great job of. But Daroka's lead does seem to keep growing as he is now out of Misty and on to grabbing his final tree, the grenade tree.
Yep. Daroka gonna be teleporting back to Glades to get into the final skill, as Squid has gotten to his second last skill. So still, yeah, about 1.5 to 2 minutes difference here, so definitely not the end of the run, but still very likely now at this point that Daroka will take advantage unless he makes either a death here or a death at some point in Mount Haru, which hopefully can lose a bunch of time, or door up could happen. That's definitely still a possibility. But for now, he's going to be making his way down here. Not going to do this long save anywhere, but has 2 energy, so it's totally fine. Going to be able to get up here, place a save anywhere, and skip this also very long cutscene. But, you know, so it has to be either 72 or 80 seconds, because, I mean, it can't not be a multiple of 8, right?
Of course, of course. But that is for Daroka now. All skills. Oh no! As Squid on the other side does take a death, those rocket jumps can just go right. That'll put him even further behind, as Daroka is now making his way straight to the end of the game. He's to get out of Misty.
And Squid unfortunately does not have a safety save there, so will be going back here to the climb tree and has to go all the way back out of Misty. So as Daroka has made his way out of Blackroot, has grabbed an extra health cell, has 5 now, which is all he needs for the escape, but might choose to get a 6th health in Haru Field, so we'll see about that and see if he will be able to see what he'll choose to do for the final escape. Only has 2 energy here, but shouldn't be much of a problem. Gonna do this rocket jump, and there's a few more energy here, so that should be fine. As Squid is going to go and choose not to do this rocket jump, and we'll be able to hopefully this time make it over to the mini boss.
And we did see Daroka skip that 6th health cell, so we'll only have 5 going in to the final escape. Oh my god! Pulls off the brand new straight line rocket jump absolutely perfectly, zips all the way through Haru Fields in a wonderful show of execution there. Props to Daroka for pulling it off in a race like this.
Yeah, now we're gonna get some door up here. Hopefully only 1 try on door up. We'll get it first try. Gonna not have to do that trick more than once, and now we're gonna be able to get through the final escape. Not gonna do a warm skip, but just gonna make your way and watch this cutscene. Kuro's gonna come down and chase us out of the game, as Squid is gonna teleport back to Blackroot Burrows, or Summon Blades, get into Blackroot Burrows, get our final skill of the game.
Yep. Still, there could go something wrong here. There was a lot of instant death in the final escape with all this lava and lasers, but Daroka has just been proving so much in this past 30 minutes that he is insanely skilled and consistent. Knows where to place safety saves, knows how to do all of the fastest runs. This pool of water here is his last. Well, aside from the final jump, but he will make it through. Will climb up this shaft, line up for 1 final grenade jump. And
let's get this grenade jump. Not quite gonna get it first try. Try 1 more time, and he will get it second try. That will be about 33:22, I believe, approximately his final time, as Squid has made it to the grenade tree. So Daroka will be taking the victory here in this race, but Squid is still only got a few minutes left, so definitely still going to try to finish this race as well as he can and get the best time possible, even though he won't be going on to the next round.
Yeah. This race between both runners was just so close for the longest time, showing off how skilled both of them are. But just a couple unfortunate deaths started to pile on themselves. Might have been because of nerves, might have just been some unfortunate accidents, but that will lead to Daroka finishing first with a final time of 33:25.
Yeah, very good run there from Daroka, 33:25. Good time from him. We'll be taking the race here, as Squid is only about around 2.5 to 3 minutes behind. He's not going to take the 6th health either. Will be making his way over to the end. And gonna get through Haru Fields. No grenade jumps, but just gonna be able to get into Haru, which is around 2 minutes now for the end of the run. So expect to finish with a low to mid 36 if nothing else goes wrong. As we get in the store, which for some reason makes us stare at it for a solid 2 to 3 seconds.
We saw that happen too in the Ginso tree. Daroka even attempted to skip that because who wants to stare at doors? But here we don't seem to have the ability cells left to pull off any sort of fancy skips, so we just stare at it. But with door, we use the door to our benefit in the end. So joke's on the door. Squid is now in the final escape.
At this point, actually, they're just staring at the door so they can study how to door warp, and make our way through so we can warp through the door and make it to the final escape. And it over here, Squid is now in the final escape, just about a minute and a half or so till the end of the run. Use some charge dashes. Does get an energy refill at the start, so has enough energy without warm skip to be able to get through the end of the run with some extra charge dashes to go a bit faster. See, but sure we can. The most important thing is that he can get the cycle for the fish. Looked good going in. Hopefully won't be taking extra damage here. Makes it out just fine, and will be making his way over to the final grenade jump. Was a bit close in the end, but now gonna get the grenade jump set up here, and not quite gonna finish. You get on the first try or the second try. As we try one more time. Squid does get the grenade jump this time, finishing with a low 36 as the final time.
Yeah, GG to Squid as well for finishing off this run. Still a great showcase and a great run of all the tricks that he pulled off. Just some slight mistakes there leading to deaths, and that will be the end of Squid's tournament run, as Daroka will be the one moving on, as we are going to just watch Naru walk to the right, end off this race.
Yep, just a few more seconds. Naru needs to run over here. Gonna do some jumps as well and finish with a final time 36:24. So just under 3 minutes, the final difference here.
Mm-hmm.
See if we're gonna get either run. See if we're gonna get either runner in or an interview here at the end. So totally optional for them, but might see if they want to have some thoughts about this race.
Absolutely. Our winner of this match, Daroka, will be in the future heading up against the winner of Promorix or Little Sharky. Promorix, I believe, is our 4 seed, so that could be a tough matchup. But as we've seen, Daroka definitely has the skills to pull off some incredible runs. So stay tuned for that matchup, as well as many, many others, including one that will be coming right after this. Questions or no?
Yeah, we're just gonna see in a minute if get an interview here from our runners. Looks like we will getting our runners into the interview in just a minute. We'll see. But yeah, there is still one more race here today. Well, there's 2 more races today. There's one more right after this one in just a few minutes. It'll probably still be a bit delayed due to the technical difficulties we had at the start, but we're now moving to runners in. So we are now joined by both of our runners who had Daroka. GG's on that race.
GG. GG.
Right, so yeah, let's just start with Daroka. Any thoughts on that race? You were the victor coming into the out of this one, so what's your thoughts on that run?
To be honest, for my normal runs, this was surprisingly clean. Only like a couple of mistakes where I was like a little bit annoyed, but otherwise it was pretty good.
Yeah, and Squid unfortunately had a death in the early game, but still were able to bring it back and it was very close for a while until some fortunate deaths in the late game. So, any thoughts?
Yeah, I've always had a bit of an issue with nerves. I think this is probably the worst run I've had in the past like 3 months at least. After that first death in Glades, I was gone for the rest of the run. I tried bringing it back. I knew I was probably behind, and I was clean for maybe early to mid game after that. But once I went to Valley, yikes, that run
Yeah,
hurt.
it was. Yeah. Yeah, it was actually really close for a while. We were like really close from like about you'd actually brought back a lot of time like enter Ginso, and it was very close from around like the start of Ginso Tree through into the start of Valley, and there were both had deaths in Valley, and until like after that it was still really close for a while.
Honestly, we absolutely lost track of how many times the lead changed in like Ginso alone. It was an incredible sight to see in that part of the race for both of you two, just passing and repassing each other. I do want to ask both of you, since they came up so often in this race, safety saves. What's kind of your thoughts on using them versus maybe saving the energy for something else? Let's start with Squid for this one.
I normally don't do a whole lot of safety saves unless I'm on like a really good pace, but I generally prefer to keep the energy just for faster pace, because generally if I lose the energy, I just reset, but you can't do that in a tournament, so.
Mm-hmm. And Daroka, any thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of think the same way. I died in Dorito caves the last couple of days, so that's why I put a save down after Sour Bash and changed my route a little bit, and that paid off because I died in the Dorito case again.
It's a great routing choice there, and it's interesting definitely to hear your guys' thoughts, especially considering the live nature of this race, which definitely played a part here, as you mentioned, Squid.
Yeah, definitely. And Daroka, so now you're going to be moving on to the next round, facing off against the winner of from RX versus Sharky. So, your thoughts on that matchup?
It's gonna be hard. I could maybe make it if I think Primorix will win, and I think I could make it maybe if I like do the best run of my life currently that I ever had, and like Primorix has like a kind of a slump. I could maybe do it, but I'm not sure about that.
I mean, in the last tournament, he did win an upset, so maybe it's your turn to take it from him. But no, yeah.
Then Squid, you are unfortunately now out of this tournament, but do you have any plans moving forward? Any new game categories? Or are you just going to keep pushing your PB even lower in this category, potentially?
I have been having a lot of fun playing all skills. I don't think I have any current plans to switch to a different category. There are no games I want to speedrun. I think once I make it past maybe 30 minutes, I'll go for all cells or something along those lines. But really, if there's anything like this again, my only goal is not to have this bad of a run.
Well, yeah, best of luck to you in all of that, in all of your all skills future endeavors, Squid. But that is all for this race. Again, we will be moving into another race in very, very short time. So to wrap this one up, I would like to thank both of our runners, Daroka and Squid, for putting on the showcase. I'd like to thank my co-commentator, Lion Almarant, for being awesome and helping me talk throughout this. To our trucker, the person who died, for giving us all this stats and info. And to Dedu, our restreamer, who also was the one who helped with a majority of the technical difficulties at the beginning. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time in a couple seconds, goodbye.